Welcome to the Hannahcast, everybody. My name is Christian Hannah, and there's another episode of the podcast. Don't forget to hit that like button if you to let the algorithm know that that you want more people to watch this content. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon because we got a bunch of interesting topics today. Ezra Miller once again is in the news. Vince McMahon is apparently accused of misconduct, and I'm shocked. People are shocked over this. We're going to be talking about the trailer for the Marilyn Monroe biopic Blonde. Disney's strange world will include an openly gay character named Ethan. Will this be real representation, or is this just going to be another Onward Cyclops situation? Aladdin director Guy Ritchie is going to be directing Disney's live-action Hercules, and we're going to be very prematurely talking about the possible contenders for next year's Best Visual Effects Oscar category. So, yeah. First, let's just get the fucking Ezra Miller thing out of the way. God, why can't they why can't they just go 1 week without doing something horrible? And the worst part is that Warner Brothers has still not addressed it. They have still not, okay, I'm gonna have to explain the backstory all over again. Let's see, it all started, I think it was in 2020, maybe 2021, or was it 2020? I don't know. Where Ezra Miller got kicked out of a bar and choked a girl, took her to the ground. Warner Brothers said nothing about it. Hell, that year's DC fandom, the first DC fandom, Warner Brothers brought Ezra Miller on to speak. Talking about the Flash, never fucking addressed that thing once. Then, earlier this year, Ezra Miller was reported, Ezra Miller, what was it? They got into a bar fight, and hit someone with a chair. Got arrested, and this was in Hawaii. Then this couple graciously bailed them out, let Ezra stay at their place, and then Ezra threatened to kill them if they didn't give Ezra their money, if they didn't give Ezra money. And so, yeah, and then there were reports about Ezra Miller grooming. At the time was a minor. Now this person that Ezra has supposedly groomed is technically legally an adult, but given Ezra's previous behavior, I've seen no reason to doubt this. Oh, and if things couldn't get worse, apparently the court couldn't serve Ezra the order to not, get in contact with that person that they may have been grooming. It's just been chaos. Well, things just got even. And then once again, I must reiterate, Warner Brothers has said nothing about this. They've never addressed anything regarding the horrible things Ezra Miller has done. And it's just, it's insanity. It is comical. And so, let me just read off of what the Daily Beast has said. On Wednesday, a mother and her 12-year-old child traveled to their local courthouse in Greenfield, Massachusetts, and were granted a temporary harassment prevention order against Ezra Miller after alleging that the actor menaced their family one evening in their downstairs neighbor's home and acted inappropriately toward the non-binary youngster. The news comes on the heels of a number of other disturbing allegations that have surfaced against the 29-year-old, best known for their turn as the Flash in Justice League. Miller is also non-binary, and that's another thing I want to point out. I am going to refer to Ezra Miller as they, them, because I don't care how horrible Ezra Miller is. I will respect their pronouns. And again, because here's the thing, I always say this, just because, like using someone's shitty behavior as a justification to be prejudiced and to as an excuse to be prejudiced is really, really shitty, because at that point you're not criticizing their behavior anymore. You're using the fact that they are a horrible person as an excuse to be prejudiced. And so I will not have any misgendering in the comments. I will take that down. And there's a good chance I'll probably block you from the channel. Again, we can shit on Ezra Miller all we want. Ezra Miller is a fucking horrible person, but we will not misgender them. All right? They go by they, them, it, or zero pronouns. Just want to make that clear. Anyways, the story goes on. Last week, the parents of 18-year-old environmental activist Dakota Iron Eyes requested that a court issue a protective order against Miller, stating in court documents that the actor met Dakota 6 years ago when they were 12 and Miller was 23, and that Ezra uses violence, intimidation, threat of violence, fear, paranoia, delusions, and drugs to hold sway over a young adolescent Dakota. The parents also accused Miller of influencing Dakota's decision to come out as non-binary transgender. An unverified, an unverified Instagram account presumed to belong to Dakota denied the claims, end parentheses. The court has been unable to locate Miller or serve the papers, and Miller deleted their Instagram Wednesday afternoon, but not before posting a series of memes mocking the authorities for their inability to find them. Creator Mia Solange took to TikTok in April to accuse Miller of being an hashtag abuser, while the actor was arrested twice in Hawaii for disorderly conduct, harassment, and allegedly throwing a chair at a woman. On top of all that, in 2020, a video went viral of Miller attacking a young female fan in Iceland, though local authorities declined to investigate the incident. In the Massachusetts case, the one that we're currently talking about right now, the Daily Beast reviewed a copy of the protection order signed by a judge and spoke with the 12-year-old accuser, their mother, and another neighbor who was present. The case docket had not been posted on the court's online system, so the official complaint made by the child's mother was not available. The Daily Beast has reviewed contemporaneous text messages sent by the mother and the neighbor, as well as photographs that corroborated parts of their accounts of the night in question. We are withholding names for privacy reasons. On the evening of February 2nd, the trio contend that Miller was present at the downstairs neighbor's home in Greenfield, which is located about 40 miles from the actor's ranch in Stamford, Vermont. That neighbor is in a band with Whitney Suiters, a musician who was close friends with Miller. Miller was wearing a bulletproof vest, and I had no idea until later that they were armed, recalls the visiting neighbor. Tensions began brewing when the mother says that she mentioned doing some traveling recently with her tribe of people, leading Miller to snap at her and accuse her of cultural appropriation. Then the conversation about board games allegedly went sideways after Miller claimed that the board game Parcheesi had Rastafarian roots. The visiting neighbor, who is half black, questioned Miller as to which sect of the Rastafari movement it originated from. At this point, Ezra explodes and started screaming directly into my face. The visiting neighbor tells me, they said, "You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. What did you say to me? What did you say to me?" I was caught very off guard, the visiting neighbor continues. They opened up the jacket, and they had this big Sherpa jacket, and they opened up one side of the jacket, you could see a gun, and they said, talking like that could get you into a really serious situation. Next, according to the visiting neighbor, the mother and the child, Miller focused their attention to the then 11-year-old, saying, "I've talked extensively with your child, and they have a lot of power to them. At one point, you're going to realize that you don't have any control over them anymore. They are an elevated being, and they would be lucky to have someone like me guide them." They say Miller proceeded to turn to the mother, who dressed as goth, and accused her of being a witch and a vampire, and repeatedly yelling at her, "Do you want to drink my blood? Do you?" Miller then came back to the child and allegedly began pestering them with compliments, at one point moving their chair closer to them, requesting that they add the actor on Instagram, telling the child to pursue fashion. They automatically were just weirdly drawn to me and kept talking about how they love my outfit and love my style, and kept going on and on about how it was great, the child remembers. "It was really uncomfortable, and I was really nervous. I was scared to be around them after he'd yelled at my mother, and she was crying." And to be clear, that wasn't me misreading. That was what was being said. Again, Ezra has they them it zero pronouns. I was just quoting what was being said. Okay, now I'm continuing. Reading what the Daily Beast wrote. The mother and visiting neighbor both believe that Miller may have been under the influence due to their dilated pupils and erratic behavior. Miller apologized for the outbursts, only to return to pester the family on a number of other occasions, including in late April, in May, and on June 4th, dressed as a cowboy. In April, both the mother and the child maintained that Miller made the child uncomfortable by hugging them and pressing their body closely against them. During the June visit, the child expressed their interest in horses, and Miller said they would acquire several horses of the child so that the child could help care for the herd on their Vermont farm, which also struck them as inappropriate. Ever since the Takata Iron Eyes news broke, however, they haven't seen or heard from them since. A representative for Miller could not immediately be reached for comment. And keep in mind, this was posted yesterday. And Warner Brothers has still not said anything about this. I'm just like, what the fuck is it going to take? Like, what the fuck is it going to take for Warner Brothers to say something? I know I already reiterated this before, but I'm just like, when's it gonna stop? Like, when is Warner Brothers, like, I'm just convinced that Warner Brothers is never going to say anything about this. Warner Brothers is not going to say anything about this until Ezra Miller murders someone. Like, is this what it's going to take? Just, is Ezra, like, the only way Ezra Miller, like, the only way Warner Brothers will ever bring up the Ezra Miller situation to the public or do anything is if Ezra Miller murders someone or murders themselves? It's like, why will they not say anything? It is the most maddening thing ever. And it's like, I keep saying this, but they have to recast The Flash. And yes, I know the movie's already shot, but it would be incredibly expensive to shoot it again by taking Ezra out and replacing them with another actor. But no one's going to want to see this movie with Ezra in it. No one's going to want to see this movie. Like, you saw what happened with Death on the Nile and Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. When you have people littered with controversy, no one's going to want to see it. Between, what was it? Like between Fantastic, like it's like Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. There's the J.K. Rowling stuff. There's the Ezra Miller stuff. I mean, granted, people just didn't like the second Fantastic Beasts movie, but it's like the controversies didn't help. And then you have Death on the Nile, which, okay, it got, if I'm not mistaken, I think Death on the Nile got decent reviews. Like, yeah, it has a 63% of Rotten Tomatoes. Like, 63% of the critics liked it. Alright. Like, cool. But, like, but the movie also had Armie Hammer, who was in such hot water over the creepy stuff that he said. And then you have Letitia Wright, who's reportedly anti-vax. You have Russell Brand, who's created a fucking cesspool of toxicity on his YouTube channel. And it's like no one wanted to see it. No one wanted to see it because people don't want to support toxic people like this. And I guarantee you that's going to happen. The same thing is going to happen to the Flash. No one's going to want to see this movie with Ezra Miller in it. But I just don't think Warner Bros. Is going to do anything about it. They're not going to do anything about it until it's too late and someone ends up getting murdered. Like, someone ends up dead because of this. Because of Ezra. Again, whether it's Ezra themselves or Ezra kills someone else, like, that's the only way, I can see this happening. And it's like, the fact that Warner Brothers just keeps ignoring this. They just keep ignoring it. Just keep ignoring it. Just keep ignoring it. It's like every time you ignore it, Ezra does something so much worse than what they did before. It's like practically threatening a mother with a gun. And again, being very creepy towards a child. It's like, what the fuck is it going to take, Warner Brothers? What is it going to take? And it's like, I don't know. I keep saying that they have to recast the Flash. They have to. It's going to be expensive, yes. But what's worse? Like, having a hard struggle to make money back when, by, reshooting the scenes of your lead, which granted, yeah, I recognize it's expensive, but the reputation you're gonna have in the future, it's gonna be disastrous. Like, what? Like, I just don't know. I'm still not expecting. It's just that the Warner Brothers has not said anything. Not even just that they've done anything, that they haven't done anything. They haven't said anything. They've never addressed this. They've never addressed anything Ezra has done since day one when Ezra fucking choked a girl in front of a bar. The Warner Brothers has just continued to say nothing. And it's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Like, they're just, like, it is insanity. So yeah, what are your thoughts on, Warner Brothers continuing to not say dick diddly about Ezra Miller? Fuck. Again, I'm expecting this to get worse next week. I'm expecting something to get so much worse. Like, I would not be shocked, honestly, that if, Ezra had Takata, do, and, they both, commit suicide or something, a dual suicide. I would not be shocked if that were the case. Because of how erratic. And, and it's Ezra's is that deranged. They are that deranged. And I don't know what to do. I don't know what to fucking do. It's just, again, it's just maddening. that Warner Brothers says nothing about this. Nothing. So yeah, moving on to the next topic. I don't usually talk about sports. I especially don't really talk about WWE because I don't really care. But this is one of the things where I'm just like, I fucking saw this coming a mile away. Now, basically, Vince McMahon, who was the CEO of WWE, has stepped down, due to because apparently he's under investigation of alleged misconduct. Now, originally the Wall Street Journal posted this, but well, I can't really access the Wall Street Journal because it's behind a paywall. So I'm going on to Sports Illustrated here. Yeah. And basically I'll just read the article and I'll give my thoughts. Vince McMahon is voluntarily stepping back from his responsibilities as CEO of WWE. Time will tell if the move is temporary or permanent. McMahon is under investigation due to alleged misconduct, which includes paying hush money to a former employee. Stephanie McMahon, who recently announced her decision to take time away from her role as chief business officer, will serve as interim CEO. There are wide-ranging ramifications for the future of WWE at stake. McMahon is not the only one being investigated for inappropriate activity. John Laurinaitis, who is the head of talent relations, was also named in the Wall Street Journal report. McMahon holds a majority of the voting power among shareholders in WWE, which is a publicly traded company, but Laurinaitis is likely to be one of the first dismissed following the investigation. Currently in his 5th decade running WWE, McMahon, 76, has his legal team preparing for further sexual abuse allegations. Sports Illustrated has learned every ugly part of his past will be dug up, as well as the transgressions of those surrounding him. For now, McMahon still retains his power in overseeing the creative decision of the on-air product. In a curious decision, McMahon is set to appear on Friday's episode of SmackDown. He will project himself as the Wolf of Wall Street and say he is not stepping, or will he project himself as the Wolf of Wall Street and say he's not stepping down, or could something else be more contrite be in store? The upcoming stretch will determine the future of the company. Now, again, I don't know that much about WWE and whatnot, but the one thing I've always had a feeling of, the fact that people are shocked that Vince McMahon is a bad person. The fact that this is shocking people is what's shocking to me, because I don't know if I have like a sixth sense or not, but I can smell like trouble coming a mile away when it comes to people. I can smell that coming a fucking mile away. I knew something was up. What were some past examples? Like, I fucking knew, like, before the whole fucking Spotify thing, you know, the COVID vaccine misinformation or whatnot, I knew Joe Rogan was sus. Something about Joe Rogan rubbed me the wrong way, and I was like, I don't think this is going to end well. I think this is going to, I don't think this is going to end well. I think this is going to end up being really, really bad. And lo and behold, I was right. Because, again, then the whole Spotify controversy came out about him, and like how he was spreading such blatant misinformation to a large audience, something that was, and life-threatening misinformation, but Spotify did nothing about it. And again, everyone was like, wow, oh my god, how could Joe Rogan be like this? I'm like, no, I've seen some of his stuff. I was like, I fucking knew he was crazy from the start. It was only a matter of time before, and Ooh. And then there was another person. Like, there's another person. This happened a couple, about a year ago or something. You know that I had this former friend. It wasn't Raphael, by the way. It's not Raphael. Different person. I don't even know if I want to say his name because I don't want to fucking give him any. I don't want to give him any kind of a spotlight. All I will say is that I was friends with him. We were gonna we've made a short film together, one that was even shown in theaters. Something I was really proud of that, but for some reason I had this feeling, even though we were friends, I had this feeling that something wasn't right with him, because he also said something regarding Toy Story. Basically, this person said that Toy Story 4 is communist propaganda. I'm like, what? And I should have seen it coming, because sometime sometime last year, I found out they were transphobic, and I was like, okay, I'm fucking done with this. And they even tried morally abusing me by saying, you don't believe that. You just want to go with a popular choice, like basically trying to downplay my own opinion. And I was like, no, fuck. I was like, no, that's I don't want to go too much into it, but basically, yeah, I should have seen that former friend of I just broke apart with him, in terms of professionally and friendshiply. I mean, even professionally, I don't want to deal with assholes. That's the thing. If I'm going to work with someone, I don't want to work with an asshole. Because I don't need the headache. But it especially hurts when it's a friend, when it's a former friend, when it's a friend, and you realize, oh wait, this person's an asshole, and then they try gaslighting you. And again, I must specify, this was not Raphael. I mean, because he's the one friend you constantly see on this podcast. I'm like, and I just want to make that clear, it's not him. But regardless, I should have seen this thing coming with that certain former friend sooner, because I've heard them say pretty stupid stuff before, and I just had this feeling in my head. It's like, I don't like this. Something's not right. And then it turned out that feeling was true. Same thing happened with Joe Rogan, and the same thing happened with Vince McMahon. I knew something was wrong with Vince McMahon. I knew there was something not right with him. Something about him just rubbed me the wrong way. And, of course, now is when... Because, I remember, he even, well, for one, WWE treats its employees like shit. There are former wrestlers who have had to start GoFundMes to make sure they are cared for. And then there are some who ended up taking their own lives because of the brain damage that they've, and the depression that they've had after after performing for so long. And WWE never took care of them. And it got really gross. I'm just like, that's kind of the fault of a really shitty CEO. Just, not because they're in charge of the whole thing. And, and then there was a bunch of other stupid things I've seen Vince McMahon do, which was doing this gag where he says to John Cena, what was it? Saying, my N-word, N-word with an A, and then he whistles and walks past a couple of black wrestlers. And again, this is a gag, but it's like, that's not what Vince McMahon said the N-word. That's funny, I guess. I was like, this whole time, I'm just like, I don't like Vince McMahon. There's something is wrong with him. There's something, there's gonna be something coming out about him, and and everyone's gonna act shocked, like, whatever. And it's like, yeah, now this new news about Vince McMahon paying hush money to a former employee, again, that doesn't shock me at all. It does not shock me in the slightest. Again, it must be some sort of sixth sense I have, because I could just feel when someone is when someone is problematic, and it's gonna come out, and it's gonna be really fucking bad. And so, yeah, I was right. But also, by the way, the fact that his daughter, I think Stephanie McMahon is his daughter. Yeah, it feels like a really weird conflict of interest that she is now serving as interim CEO. Like, I don't know, something about that just, again, I just don't like that. Like, everything about Vince McMahon, rubbed me the wrong way, and boom, here it is. Like, yeah, it's whatever. What do you think of this news? Did you have a feeling that something was sus about Vince McMahon? Let me know in the comments below, and let me know your thoughts. Anyway, guys, let's talk about some better topics, shall we? Apparently, there's this movie coming out called Blonde. Now, in case you kids out there don't know her, there was one of the most famous Hollywood starlets at the time, Marilyn Monroe. Like, she's infamous. No, not infamous. She's famous. Like, she was considered like the most beautiful woman on the planet back then. Well, apparently, she's getting a movie. Like, she's gonna be in a movie. Like, she's gonna get her own like little biopic. Okay, let me read the description of the trailer here. Ana de Armas is Marilyn Monroe in Blonde, only on Netflix September 23rd, from director Andrew Dominic, and based on the best-selling novel by Joyce Carol Oates. Blonde boldly reimagines the complicated life of icon Marilyn Monroe. Blurring the lines of fact and fiction, the film artfully explores the tension between her public and private life. And what got people really curious about this is that this movie's rated NC-17, because reportedly this is going to be delving into the times where she was sexually abused and, well, frankly, raped in her time. And this looks almost like a horror movie in some aspects, because, like, you see in the trailer, she's getting ready. Well, for one, the cinematography is fantastic. But, she's getting ready in the makeup booth to do some sort of shoot or something. And basically, she's crying in the mirror. Yeah, she's crying in the mirror. But, however, ultimately, she has to put on that face. She has to put on this facade of the happy Marilyn Monroe face that we're all used to seeing. And also, one thing I'm noticing between her and her reflections in the mirror, when she starts laughing, the mirror is not, like, her reflection in the mirror is not moving in the same way as her reflection in the mirror is not moving the same way as real world, as the Marilyn Monroe that we're not seeing in the mirror. Because, like, in the mirror, she's moving her head a whole lot more than the one whose back is turned to us. It's hard to describe. If you look up the trailer, the teaser for Blonde, you know what I'm talking about. But this movie looks really fascinating. And for one, also, Ana de Armas looks fantastic as Marilyn Monroe. Now, there are some questions being raised, like, is the NC-17 rating necessary for this film? Or is it just exploitive? And I'm not going to act like I know the answer to that. And I'm especially not going to speak for women who have gone through sexual assault or harassment or anything like that. So I can't speak for them. I need to see what the movie's going to be like. Because, like, there have been many movies where we truly see, like, the most horrifying things. Like, for a couple of great examples of this is the depiction of slavery in 12 Years a Slave. And, well, sort of going back to the whole rape thing, going to The Last Duel. Like, both of those movies make those acts committed against our lead heroes, and, like, really make them out to be horror movies, and not even, like, but it's, like, not in a, ooh, horror, like, no, it's actually fucking scary. Like, in 12 Years a Slave, in 12 Years a Slave, Michael Fassbender playing Edwin Epps is so terrifying. And how he's just ruthless against black people. And then you have, The Last Duel, and Adam Driver probably becomes even scarier than he was as Kylo Ren, because this guy just feels more real. And the way, like, he would, like, it's uncomfortable. But with those movies, I feel like it was really almost kind of needed. They needed to be uncomfortable, because it really, like, doesn't try to hide. By not hiding it, it really shows the gravity of the situation. And maybe Blonde will be like that too. The fact that it's getting an NC-17 rating, because, like, The Last Duel, it depicted rape, and that was a rated R film. What's this movie going to be like? So, I don't know. And people are wondering if this is going to get awards buzz. I don't know. Once again, we have to see how the film turns out. The fact that it's NC-17 will have an uphill battle. But even then, I'm wondering if it's even going to have a theatrical release of any kind. Because the Oscars this year are going back to theatrical qualifying releases. Wikipedia says, in August 2016, it was announced Netflix would distribute the film. In June 2021, I can't pronounce that name, Thierry Frémaux revealed that he had invited Blonde to premiere the Cannes Film Festival, though Netflix declined, as it may only be screened out of competition. In a 2022 interview, Dominic, the director, stated that the film will retain an NC-17 rating and hoped that it would premiere at that year's Cannes Film Festival, and as well as appraising de Armas's performance. While the film was ultimately not selected to premiere at the 2022 Cannes Film Festival, Dominic later expressed hope that it would be selected to premiere at the 2022 Venice Film Festival. In June 2022, it was reported that the film was among the list of possible Venice Film Festival premieres. It doesn't say if it's going to have any kind of a theatrical release, but all I will say is that I'm really fascinated by this Blonde movie, this Marilyn Monroe project. Again, the one thing we can be hopeful of is that it is tasteful about what happened to Marilyn Monroe. And honestly, I didn't even know that Marilyn Monroe had, went through so much awful, like, inhuman stuff. And so, maybe this people will educate people like me who don't know this stuff. So yeah, what do you think of the trailer for Blonde? Let me know your thoughts. Alright, now, after all this time, let's get to, well, some lighthearted news. Well, somewhat lighthearted, even though, because I still have some concerns, but regardless. There's a new, what is it? Walt Disney Animation Studios is going to come out with their next film on November 23rd, 2022. It is called Strange World. Now, I'm not going to lie. The trailer for it popped out, and I wasn't really thrilled. It looked like a very generic... Like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like something about Strange World did not feel in any sense exciting. It's like, it just felt like I've seen all of this before. Like, I've seen, like, even the creature designs look like they were ripping off of, man, I forget what the... Wayne Barlow. Even the alien creature designs looked like they were ripping off of Wayne Barlow designs. There is a bit of an interesting thing, though. Apparently, I'm reading this off of InsideTheMagic.com. It is the... because apparently, okay, I'm reading off of InsideTheMagic.net. During this year's Annecy International Animated Film Festival, Walt Disney Animation Studios showed off their newest animated feature film coming to theaters this Thanksgiving season, Strange World, slated for November 23rd, 2022. They also not so subtly dropped the news that the film would feature the first openly gay romance in a Disney movie during one of the sneak peeks shown. Scrolling down here. Ethan Clade, voiced by Jabuki Young White, is the 16-year-old grandson of Yeager, the character who will have a gay teen romance. Yeah. Alongside the announcement of the key voice cast of Strange World, the animation giant executed the reveal by showing a clip of the young character Ethan Clade flirting openly with another young boy, Daizo, as revealed by Matthew Sajiji, an Emmy Award-winning animation production designer who was present at the event. Yeah. And basically, this is what Sajiji says. The scene describes the son being very shy in front of his boy crush, and his dad comes in and says, "So nice to meet you. My son talks about you all the time," and further embarrasses his son. Very cute. I'm a little bit yeah. And Inside the Magic also says previously, it says, what was it? However, the character Daizo was not announced as part of the key voice cast, so it's safe to assume that the romance might take a bit of a backseat to the fantastical happenings, adventure, and family drama taking center stage. Nevertheless, this is an extremely bold move from Disney considering their past. Previously, they had come under fire for cutting LGBTQ+ scenes out of the Pixar film Turning Red after backing the Don't Say Gay bill, as well as face scrutiny for their Pride collection being patronizing to the LGBTQ+ community. As of late, the Walt Disney Company has... But yeah, basically, this is, as much as I want to be optimistic about this, I still don't quite trust Disney yet with handling, with with dealing with LGBTQ plus themes, because while you have a few spots, like probably the most progressive show we've seen in that, like the most progressive project they've had up to this point is probably The Owl House. And you have some good representation in like West Side Story and Eternals, but like everything else, like it's like the most, like it's always like most of what Disney does when it comes to gay characters or any characters of the LGBTQ plus community. It's like great. Like here's some examples of what they usually do when it comes to characters in that community. LeFou in Beauty and the Beast. That one in the distance gay kiss in Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, or that Cyclops in Onward, or anything like that, or in Avengers Endgame, like this one guy briefly mentioning that he was going on a date with a dude, but it was so, but basically stuff where Disney just puts a drop of a gay reference in there, but they just put a drop in there to appease American audiences so that they can cut it out, cut it out from, cut it from to appease the Chinese government or the Russian government or whatever. And it's like, if those characters and those themes, if those characters being gay or whatever are so easily removable that they could just be if the representation is so light that they could just be cut out like that just to appease Russia and China, then it's not real representation. And even and even when you look at Disney's Pride Month collection, it's some of the most laughable stuff, because it's really that's what you count as representation. Like they have Amphibia, even though the only indication we get of anything major like that is I don't watch Amphibia, but at the end but from what I saw at the very end of the last episode, we see a character, and they have a little sticker, like a bisexual sticker, even though it's never addressed, was never addressed before. And again, this is literally the last part of the last episode of Amphibia, which again, I don't really blame the creator, Matt Braley, for that, obviously, but it really does feel like maybe he wanted more, more representation, more of that kind of representation, but the mouse was like, oh, I won't let you do that, oh, and it's like, or even Gravity Falls is in the Pride Month collection, and again, even Alex Hirsch was like, wait, what? That's on there? Because, there's this infamous story where Alex Hirsch he said he still has the emails where Disney forbade him from having any kind of gay characters in Gravity Falls. And yet now it's in the Pride Month collection. And it's again, I don't, yeah, cool. It sounds like, it sounds like it's going to have the first openly gay teen romance in a Disney feature, but I don't trust Disney with that. I don't trust Disney with it because it's going to... I'm willing to bet it's going to be, maybe the director and writers wanted to have, some really good representation there, but Disney just cut it out, cut up, most of it, so they can appeal to China and Russia. Again, I just, now, I'll stay open-minded, and if it actually is something that you couldn't just cut out, sort of like how they did it with, with Anybody's from West Side Story, or, Brian Tyree Henry's character from Eternals. Like, all right, cool. But I feel like we still have what? I just feel like we really need to have like a movie, like a Disney film where the lead character is unapologetically queer, like part of the queer community. And it's like, again, we'll have to see how much this representation actually goes in Strange World. I hope it's significant. And I hear some people going, what, you want it to be forced? Okay, well, for one, here's the thing. The whole forced thing, it's a stupid myth because, we see bad romances all the time, like in Twilight and 50 Shades of Grey, but no one wants to say that was forced because, like, no one wants to say that, no one wants to claim, forced heterosexuality, because we all know what you're talking about. You just don't like gay relationships in media. And here's the thing, like, I will literally take quote-unquote forced, a quote-unquote forced gay relationship over doing the bare minimum just so that you can hide it for foreign markets. Like, because at least then you have the balls to actually stick to it. And it's I don't know. Again, I'm hoping this is real representation, but again, I'm just worried that this is going to be another Onward Cyclops situation. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Next, we're going to be talking about something that I've been really excited. I'm really looking forward to. As we know, Disney likes to do their live action, or not even always. It's not even always live action. Disney has been remaking their old properties, and yeah. Now some people are very mixed on that. Like, honestly, for as much everyone complains about the Disney remakes, people sure do seem to like a lot of them. Like, what were some of the ones? Yeah, like, people hate, people didn't like Dumbo, people didn't like Lion King, but it's like, well, to be fair, a lot of people people were either mixed or not impressed with Alice in Wonderland, Maleficent 2, Alice Through the Looking Glass, The Lion King, Dumbo. People were kind of mixed on Aladdin, but I think they feel more positive about it. But it's like people also seem to forget that they also liked Cinderella, The Jungle Book. I mean, Beauty and the Beast got a good response from people. Christopher Robin got a good response. Cruella, even though I didn't like Cruella, people seem to like Cruella. But the other funny thing is that for how everyone complains, and people also seem to like Pete's Dragon. But regardless, for how everyone likes to, complain about the Disney remakes, they sure keep going to go see them. Oh yeah, no. Sorry. But it's like, everyone always complains, why they gotta keep making these Disney remakes? It's like, why they gotta keep seeing them? I'm like, actually, no, it's like, my brain is melting right now. People are always like, why does Disney gotta make all these remakes? It's like, they're making these remakes because you keep going to go see them. Like, the Lion King remake, I don't care what anybody says, it's not a live action movie, it's animated, it's a photorealistic animated movie. But regardless, the Lion King remake is now the highest grossing animated film of all time. It's like, why, you're asking me why does Disney keep making these movies? You fools keep going to go see them. And even then, it's like, who cares? if they keep making them or not. Like Disney's like because they keep saying, oh, Disney never does anything original. It's like, really? Last time I checked, Inside Out was original, Coco was original, Soul was original, Turning Red is original. What was it called? Like Onward was original. Encanto was original. Raya and the Last Dragon is original. Again, everyone keeps complaining that, no one makes that Disney doesn't make original content. They do. Like, they make original content. And it's just, it's just a bunch of hypocrisy. It's like, Disney does make original content, and if you don't want to see if you don't want Disney making these remakes, why do you keep going to go see them? Like, that's my thing. Why do you keep seeing them if you don't want? If you don't, like, it's just mad. It's just maddening. It's like you're literally the reason why they keep making them. You fucking idiots. But regardless, one of the remakes that Disney is going to be doing is Hercules. Now, granted, this is going to be kind of interesting, like how I'm wondering how they're gonna do the Aladdin, because like I don't know how am I describing it? It's like with Hercules, I was getting similar questions with the questions I was raising about how they were gonna do an Aladdin remake, because Aladdin was pretty out there. It was kind of crazy. I mean, hell, just look at the song "Never Had a Friend Like Me." Like, I was like, how are you going to adapt that into live action? But then the movie came out, and I thought it was really good. I thought, especially anything involving Will Smith's genie, that was a revelation. And the "Never Had a Friend Like Me" scene, I thought that was like maybe one of the best scenes of the year. So, we have. So we have Hercules, which Hercules might even be more insane. And so I was like, how in the world are they going to do that? But apparently, sort of like with the whole Aladdin thing, they got Guy Ritchie, who directed Aladdin, to direct Hercules. Now, this is what Deadline had to say. After watching his live-action transfer of Disney's animated Aladdin become his first film to crack the $1 billion gross mark, Guy Ritchie is back in business with the studio. This time, he's overseeing a live-action film based on the Disney animated film Hercules. The film will be produced by Agbo, the production company run by Avengers Endgame directors Joe and Anthony Russo. The studio is in the process of hiring writers after Dave Callahan wrote a first draft. The deal was made by CAA before Ritchie last month exited the agency and went to WME. And yeah, I'm really interested to see how they do Hercules, because again, I would argue it's even more crazy than Aladdin was. Like, good God, that movie really it was really, really stylized. So how they're going to do that in live action, we'll have to see. Currently, I don't think there's been any casting for any of the characters. Some people have been suggesting Henry Cavill play Hercules, possibly. But here's the thing I'm wondering: is this going to be a musical? Like, how accurate is this going to be to the original Hercules? So, I don't know. And because if it is a musical, that makes me wonder if Henry Cavill can sing. But even then, it's like he's not cast. Here's the thing: I'm fully expecting them to get someone. Like, some people are thinking, Chris Hemsworth, or again, Henry Cavill. I don't know. Well, for one, I think Henry Cavill might be a bit too old, because, I need to figure out how old is is Hercules? How old is Hercules? Yeah, in the movie he's 16 years old. So they're probably gonna find so obviously they can't get Henry Cavill. But even then, where are you gonna find someone who's how do I describe it? It's like, how are you going to yeah, how in the world are you going to find someone, like, find someone who can pull off being 16 and yet also be gigantic in mass, like, well, in muscle. So I don't know. Like I said, I really liked what I really liked what Guy Ritchie did with Aladdin. If he can make Aladdin work, I am interested to see how he handles making, Hercules seem somewhat plausible. In any case, what do you think of Guy Ritchie directing Hercules? And what do you think of the Disney remakes in general? Do you wish they would stop making them? Well, I mean, again, I have to answer that question. If you want Disney to stop making them, then stop seeing the movies. But regardless, let me know your thoughts. Finally, we're going to talk about, this. We're going to be talking about this final topic. It's a little like, basically, you know how much I love the visual, the best visual effects Oscar. I find visual effects to be very fascinating. And so I've been thinking, what could possibly be nominated for next year's Oscars for best visual effects? Because it's gonna be tough. Let's just look onto. Yeah, let's just look at. Wait, what? That's interesting. But yeah. What in the world? Wait, how is... Alright, hold on a second. Yeah, okay, that's weird. But yeah, let's talk about the best visual effects category at the Oscars. And you know what, let's talk about... To start off, let's kind of go with last year's race. Let me just make this smaller so that it can properly fit. There we go. Now, in case you don't know how the Oscars works, they have a shortlist system where, like, basically they'll at least as of recently, they'll select 10 movies to contend for best visual effects, have them go through a bake-off at some theater, and then from those 10, the visual effects branch of the Academy will choose the 5 nominees for best visual effects. Last year's shortlist was Black Widow, Dune, Eternals, Free Guy, Ghostbusters Afterlife, Godzilla vs. Kong, The Matrix Resurrections, No Time to Die, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and Spider-Man No Way Home. To which Dune, Free Guy, No Time to Die, Shang-Chi, and Spider-Man got nominated, and Dune won. I saw Dune's win coming a mile away. I just knew it was going to win. Now, next year's Oscars is going to be interesting. Because, oddly enough, I think we have probably less of a strong visual effects, we have a visual effects race going on. Let's check it out. What the 10 movies I think could be in contention for best visual effects, maybe. But yeah, I'll explain a little bit later. We have Avatar: The Way of Water, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Black Adam, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore, Jurassic World Dominion, Moonfall, Morbius, Thor: Love and Thunder, and Top Gun Maverick. Now, granted, I don't know if I'm going to stick with Black Adam or Morbius or Moonfall. Again, keep in mind, it's early. Like, it's literally June. We're about to hit July. But I'm kind of shocked to say that, there's not really much Like, let's look at some of the other competition. Let me just take this off real quick. Because we have like there's probably maybe a few options for best visual effects. Yeah, there's probably like... Yeah. Here, okay, yeah, let's read this, shall we? Because I've been looking all over to see what kind of visual effects films were going to be coming out this year. And maybe, I'm fully willing to believe that maybe there's like some that we haven't seen yet that could potentially be very strong visual effects contenders. But really, what I came down to is like, it seems like we have Ambulance, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Batman, Black Adam, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore, Jurassic World Dominion, Lightyear, Moonfall, Morbius, Nope, The Northman, Shazam, Fury of the Gods, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Thor: Love and Thunder, Gun Maverick, Turning Red, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, and Uncharted. Now the reason, now keep in mind, I don't even know why I even brought this up, because there are a few things I don't think are gonna, maybe I shouldn't predict Black Adam, Morbius, or Moonfall. Morbius and Moonfall, I think they're going to get forgotten pretty quickly, even though I will say they have some pretty cool effects work in there. Black Adam, I don't think is getting in there because literally the only DCEU movie to have ever made it to the final visual effects shortlist was Birds of Prey, which even then, that was like in 2020, which was like the worst year for visual effects I've seen yet, in terms of like how much competition or lack thereof there was. I'm just going to say, 2020 was an asterisk year for visual effects. This was garbage. This was a trash year for visual effects. So yeah, because of that, I don't expect Black Adam to get in there. Maybe the Batman will get in there. Honestly, maybe the Batman's a better, Let's just go through the ones, I think are locks. Avatar: The Way of Water, I 100% believe is winning Best Visual Effects. It's going to win. Because, it's... The first film already won Best Visual Effects, and this is doing even more incredible stuff. Not to mention, I think this film is being done in 4K. So it's yeah. And the other lock I know of is going to be Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Doctor Strange is always, they do, that... Whenever Doctor Strange is in a movie, they do some, Marvel does some incredible stuff there. I think but again, I think other possibilities, Gun Maverick, because I've heard, I need to see a visual effects breakdown. Because, I remember, if you remember when I was doing my predictions, hopes or whatnot, at first I was like, No Time to Die isn't going to get nominated. It's not going to get nominated. There's barely anything significant in there. Well, that's because I was going off of the DNEG, the double negative, the double negative visual effects breakdown, which, as cool as it was, wasn't that incredible. No disrespect to DNEG, but it's I've seen that stuff before. But then you have what ILM did for the opening car chase sequence, and what Framestore did for the car chase out in the woods and these open plains and whatnot. Basically, whereas James Bond is driving a Hummer through around this mountain and whatnot, and a bunch of people, cars, motorcycles, helicopters are chasing him. All that stuff, the breakdown for that was more impressive. So, even though I still don't think I would nominate No Time to Die, I will say I don't have a problem with it, even though I think Ghostbusters Afterlife should have gotten in there. But regardless. But yeah, 2022 just seems to, at least so far, be weaker. But anyways, Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick, I'm saving this just in case there is some significant visual effects in there. I hope they release a visual effects breakdown at some point. So yeah. Thor: Love and Thunder is possible. It's Marvel. Marvel does pretty well at these things, especially now, post-COVID. I think... the reason why I'm not completely sold on Black Panther, I think it'll probably make the shortlist, but I'm still holding out on it from a nomination, because I'm holding off of it from a nomination because the first Black Panther had some pretty horrible CGI moments, and it's like it was really. Like the effects got really bad in the movie. I fully believe Jurassic World Dominion is going to make the final shortlist. Like the other two Jurassic World movies did, and even although I keep saying this, the CGI in Jurassic World Dominion was great, but man, the animatronics looked so bad. The animatronics looked so horrible. And so I don't know if although maybe it gets a nomination for visual effects because of the fact that it has practical effects, regardless if it's good or bad. I don't know. Nope. I think it's probably a possibility, but again, it might not have very significant visual effects. Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore, I think, has a better chance than people think it's going to have. Because it does have some really cool magic sequences. And granted, the first two Fantastic Beasts movies didn't, but again, they didn't come out post-COVID. So, I don't know. I will say, one movie I don't know if it's going to qualify or not is The Adam Project. Because if The Adam Project qualifies, then I think it's getting a nomination. Because keep in mind, the Oscars have gone back to the, theatrical release model for it to be considered for Oscar nominations. So unless the Adam Project, somehow got released in enough theaters to qualify for the Oscars in a very quiet manner, then I don't really see it qualifying for the Oscars. The Batman could get in there. It does have some... then again, I need to know how much CGI was in the movie. I need to know how much visual effects was in the film. And if it was truly that significant. But even then, would it still get a nomination? I don't know. And the reason why, again, I don't think Black Adam's getting in there... because the Oscars don't really seem to be a fan of the DCEU. I mean, hell, even Man of Steel didn't get in there for best visual effects on the short list. If Man of Steel couldn't, I don't see, and the fact that the Suicide Squad last year didn't get in the short list, that was the really shocking thing. I was like, really? The Suicide Squad didn't get in there? And so I'm just convinced at this point that the visual effects branch isn't really too fond of the visual effects, isn't really too fond of the DCEU. And that also goes for Shazam! Fury of the Gods. The reason why I say Lightyear and Turning Red might be in contention is because animated movies have appeared in shortlists before. I mean, granted, Soul was in there for 2020, but again, asterisk here. 2018, for round one, they did have Incredibles 2 in there. Incredibles 2 got in there, and I think all the way back in 2007, round one of that shortlist, Ratatouille got on there. So I think there is a possibility that Lightyear and Turning Red could get in there. Mainly Turning Red. Wait, no, yeah, Turning Red did qualify. It does qualify for the Oscars this year because it did have some kind of a theatrical release. Turning Red, because like people who don't know anything about animation or CGI or whatever say, "Oh my god, Turning Red looks so cheap." It's like, no, it does not look cheap. The May character is arguably one of Pixar's most advanced characters to date, considering how much thick fur she has. That might be attractive towards the visual effects branch of the Academy. Because again, and in case anyone's wondering, going, wait, but wouldn't it be nominated for Best Animated Feature, not Best Visual Effects? Well, I can tell you this. There have been 3 animated movies in history that have been nominated for Best Visual Effects. The first one was The Nightmare Before Christmas. The second one was Kubo and the second one was Kubo and the Two Strings, right here. And the third one was The Lion King. And again, many other animated movies could technically have been nominated for Best Visual Effects. Again, Soul, but that's an asterisk year. It's Incredibles 2 and Isle of Dogs had a shot of getting in there. What else had a possibility of getting nominated? Disney's A Christmas Carol and Coraline, they had a chance of getting nominated. Once again, Ratatouille and Beowulf, they had a chance of getting in there. Wait, no, that's where I don't know if Dinosaur is an animated movie or not. Because it was filmed on live action backgrounds. But I mean, a lot of people consider it to be an animated movie. Again, I'm not sure. I think that's a legitimate debate. But if it is qualified as an animated, if it is an animated movie, well, it could have been nominated. Even, and it's not even just CGI or stop motion animated movies, because even the original Lion King technically could have gotten a visual effects nomination. It got in the shortlist. So basically what it comes down to is it doesn't matter if it's an animated movie. A movie can be nominated for Best Animated Feature and Best Visual Effects. I mean, hell, again, look at Kubo and the Two Strings. Kubo and the Two Strings got nominated for both Best Visual Effects and Best Animated Feature, because animated movies have visual effects in them. I mean, animation is literally an effect in of itself. So, I do, Turning Red could get in there. But again, it's tough. There is a possibility of Everything Everywhere All at Once, especially with the whole thing that, it was really 5 people who did all the effects in that movie. But again, it's mostly small stuff, and I don't expect it to get in there. Plus, A24 movies very rarely get nominated for Best Visual Effects. I know Ex Machina got nominated, but a bunch of others that everyone swore to me, "Oh, Christian, The Green Knight's gonna get a visual effects nomination at the Oscars." I'm like, no, it's not. And then look what happened. No one listened to me, and it got 0 nominations. Hell, The Green Knight got 0 nominations at the Visual Effects Society Awards. So it's guess who was right about that? Again, maybe there's a chance Black Panther Wakanda Forever does have significantly better visual effects than the first one. And the reason why I say Morbius is a legitimate possibility is because they do some cool things with the Morbius face, and Morbius's powers, his echolocation. That stuff is pretty cool. So there is a chance it could get nominated for that. Moonfall has some really cool particle and destruction simulations, which could be attractive. Again, considering this year seems to be pretty lacking in the visual effects department, in the visual effects side of things. I don't expect Sonic the Hedgehog 2 to get in there. And the reason why I say the unbearable weight of massive talent is because I think they did a de-aged Nicolas Cage. But again, I don't know if that's going to work. Uncharted, possibly, but I don't know. All I'm saying is, again, and once again, for all we know, maybe there is a secret visual effects contender that no one sees coming. You know, I didn't see Ghostbusters, but then again, I knew Ghostbusters Afterlife was coming out. Whereas with all of these, it's like, I don't... And Elvis, the reason why I mentioned Elvis is because... Baz Luhrmann did this Great Gatsby movie back in 2013, and a lot of that movie was CGI. And for that time, it was really impressive, and so I'm wondering if he has if his Elvis movie did a similar thing with visual effects. So I don't know. Now granted, I didn't see Love and Monsters coming out as a visual, because again, I didn't think Love and Monsters was gonna get in there, or at least like, you know, when the year started out. Like, I didn't even know this movie really existed. One Only Ivan, I didn't see that coming. I admit, like, 1917 and The Irishman, I didn't see coming, although I still to this day don't think 1917 deserved a nomination. But yeah, like I said, we'll have to see how everything works out. Really the only two locks I have are Avatar: The Way of Water and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And I think Avatar's going to win it. So, yeah. And honestly, that might be it for this episode of the Hannahcast. Thank you guys for watching. Oh, excuse me. We had, we talked about some things that were, not so poggers. Talk about some things that were pretty poggers. But overall, this is a pretty poggers episode. If you want to support me, or for one, if you want to, if you want to be if you don't want to be told by the algorithm as to whether or not you should watch my videos, then consider hitting that subscribe button and click that like button so that more people are so that more people get notified of these videos. And plus, currently I'm at 799 subscribers. I just need one more till I get to 800. Oh boy. If you want to support me financially, go to ko-fi.com/ChristianHannah or go to ChristianHannah.com where, because if you go to ChristianHannah.com, let me just find it here. When you click on ChristianHannah.com, it directly leads to my link tree, and it has all my links on here. It has all my links. Where you can even send me a tip through, you can just send me a tip directly through my link tree, which is really nice. If you want to follow me on Twitter, go to @thehannahcast, and if you want to buy some merch, go to christiansreviews.creator-spring.com. I do plan on changing that link at some point, but I just don't know how I'm going to be able to do that. But yeah. But yeah, I think that might do it for the Hannahcast, everybody. Stay tuned for, the next episode. Bye.